6 years old, and what grade are you in? Grade 1. And what's your favorite fruit? Apples. And do you eat apples a lot? No. How many meals do you eat a day? How many meals? Like how many times do you eat a day?
Only one.
Only one?
According to the World Health Organization, food security is defined as when all people in a society at all times have enough food for an active, healthy life. World Health Organization defines food insecurity as when food is not easily accessible and households have difficulty securing adequate food.
The issue of food insecurity has been critical in many parts of the world, including South Africa. The right to food is ensured in international and national law. In South Africa, food security received much attention after 1994 when South Africa became a democratic country. The right to access sufficient food was embedded in Section 26 and 27 of the South African Constitutional Law of 1996. The Constitution indicates that every South African citizen has a right to sufficient food and water and Social Security. In the 2010-11 financial year, food security was reprioritized as one of the top priorities for the South African government. The Food and Agriculture Organization report for 2008 indicates that international estimates of people experiencing chronic hunger increased dramatically over the period from 1990 to 2007. The FAO report is in line with South Africa's Millennium Development Goal, which aims to halve the proportion of people who go hungry over the period from 1990 to 2015 and to halve the poverty and unemployment by 2014.
There are two main governmental programs that South Africa has set up to help with the problem of food insecurity. The first of which is called the Zero Hunger Program of the Department of Agriculture, Fishing, and Forestry, which focuses on food access and nutrition security, as well as the development of marketing channels. The second program is called the Outcome 7 program, which aims to improve access to affordable and diverse foods, including rural job creation to enable sustainable growth.
Cape Town is an urban area that is still struggling with food insecurity. Less than 5% of Cape Town residents obtain food by growing it themselves. 94% of people in Cape Town purchase their food in supermarkets, and even though most of the food-secure places in Cape Town, such as areas like Ocean View, only 31% of households can be considered food secure. Food security is worsening in Cape Town, as 76% of households indicate their economic circumstances are worse than the previous year.
How old are you? 5? Do you go to school?
Yes.
Yes. Did you eat breakfast this morning? What did you have? Oh, hold on.
I have bread and course.
Wow. How many meals do you eat per day?
Only one.
Only one? So you're good until breakfast tomorrow? Thank you.
One meal for me a day.
One meal for you a day? Is that all you eat per day? Just what you get here?
Yeah.
No other
And
meals?
maybe I got some bread and a roll. I keep the bread and a roll for this afternoon.
Okay.
Now, if all the places closed, where are you going to get food? And you know what? Then you have to go steal and all that, and that is not how life goes on. Understand? That's how I just believe in God. God is there for me, and I will always be strong. Although I'm sick, He always lifts me up and brings me to here, to the place where I can fill my stomach and go back where I belong.
Limpopo is a rural province in the northern part of South Africa that is also struggling with food security and instability issues, but in a different way than the urban environment of Cape Town. South Africa is largely deemed a food-secure nation, producing enough staple foods or having the capacity to import food if needed to meet the basic nutrition requirements of its population. Hart et al. Supported the argument that South Africa seems to be food secure at a national level, but the same cannot be said for the households of rural areas like Limpopo. The Limpopo province is 10% of the South African population, with 90% of the population living in rural areas. In 2005, 52% of households in the Limpopo province were experiencing hunger. 57% of households are involved in crop production such as maize, mangoes, spinach, pawpaws, and tomatoes. These households that are involved in crop production are able to support themselves and feed their families even when they are very, very poor, unlike the poorest households of Cape Town, which are unable to feed themselves because they do not have the ability to produce crops.
And that supplies seedlings for our garden. And we sell seedlings, and it goes to the home garden. Cabbage, which is filling and nutritious, green peppers, tomatoes, that's a muchaeni, that's a sort of local spinach. They come in and they get porridge with goat's milk, usually if the goats are not having babies. Then they have tea time bread and jam and peanut butter and tea. Then they have a really good lunch, and then they have a snack, and then they go home.
Do they usually get fed dinner at home?
We hope so, sometimes, yeah. That's why we make sure they have a good...
Enough to
It
go.
takes the burden off the gogo knowing that at least one child in the family has eaten. So even if they have a slice of bread for supper,
Right.
they do, have some food, yeah.